fields, huh?
Oh,
So beautiful. Like the wintertime, you have leaves. You know, like.
we get sunflowers though.
And this wintertime, you have all these here. It's just you have all these exotic roses and privet and ligustrum.
Is it the honeysuckle there? Is that
Jasmine.
Jasmine?
Nice.
Prabhupada smelled jasmine. He said, "This is Krishna." Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari
Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanad Hari
Jana Vallabha Girivanad Hari
Yamuna Tira
Yamuna Tira
Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari
Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanad Hari
Jaya Pitana Vallabha Girivanad Hari Yamuna Tira
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate 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 Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatyam Vyasam.
Devim Saraswati Vyasam.
Utto Jayam Udiraye.
Bodhaya Mudiraye.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, Text 39.
Just that you took a breath. I just wanted to let all the devotees know that there was a report this morning that Guru Maharaj is better. He may get out of ICU real soon. He was on a ventilator. He had got like high fever, and then I took him to ICU, but he's doing much better. They're still just asking that, as usual, that you keep praying for him. But he's better. He's still.
Jai, Srila Guru Maharaj Ki.
Jai.
May he live forever amongst us.
There you go.
He's our life and Savior. Text number 42.
Yes.
Ita gavo nasi protas.
Yatha gavo nasi protas.
Ancham badascha damabi.
Kantyam Bhadachadamavi.
Bhaktancham namabirbada.
Bhaktantyam Namavirvata.
Bhanti balyam ishitu.
Vahanti Balim Ishitu.
Next.
Yatagavo nasi protas.
Yatha gavo nasi protas.
Tantyam vadascha tamavi.
Kancham badascha damabi.
Vaktantiyam. Is that tiyam or Vaktantyam namavirbadha.
Bhaktancham namabirbada.
Vahanti balam isutu.
Vahanti
balyam
Ushitu. Yatha gavo nasi protas.
Yadagavo nasi protas.
Kantyam Bhadachadamavi.
Kancham badascha damabi.
Bhaktantyam Namavirvata.
Bhaktancham namabirbada.
Vahanti Balim Ishitu.
Vahanti balyam ishitu. Next.
Yatagavo nasrotas.
Yatagavo
Nasi protas.
Tantyam badascha damavi.
Kancham badascha damabi.
Tantyam namavirbada.
Bhaktancham namabirbada.
Vahanti balim istitu.
Vahanti balyam ishitu. Anyone? No one else? Word for word. Is that necessary? Can I just read your verse? I mean, I don't want to offend anybody, but I just
It's your class.
seems like you guys can trust that Prabhupada got the translations correct, right? So that's really the reason you have to do it, so people would believe it. So I believe it. Translation: as a cow, you can repeat. As a cow, bound through the nose by a long rope is conditioned, so also human beings are bound by different Vedic injunctions and are conditioned to obey the orders of the Supreme. As a cow bound through the nose by a long rope is conditioned, so also human beings are bound by different Vedic injunctions and are conditioned to obey the orders of the Supreme. Purport by His Divine Grace to the Prabhupada. Every living being, whether a man or an animal or a bird, thinks that he is free by himself. But actually, no one is free from the severe laws of the Lord. The laws of the Lord are severe because they cannot be disobeyed in any circumstance. The man-made laws may be evaded by cunning outlaws. But in the codes of the supreme lawmaker, there is not the slightest possibility of neglecting the laws. A slight change in the course of God-made law can bring about a massive danger to be faced by the lawbreaker. Such laws of the Supreme are generally known as the codes of religion under different conditions. But the principle of religion everywhere is one and the same. Namely, obey the orders of the Supreme God, the codes of religion. That is the condition of material existence. All living beings in the material world have taken up the risk of conditioned life by their own selection and are thus entrapped by the laws of material nature. The only way to get out of the entanglement is to agree to obey the Supreme. But instead of becoming free from the clutches of Maya or illusion, foolish human beings become bound up by different nomenclatures, being designated as Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Sudras, Hindus, Mohammedans, Indians, Europeans, Americans, Chinese, and many others. And thus they carry out the orders of the Supreme Lord under the influence of respective scriptural or legislative injunctions. The statutory laws of the state are imperfect imitation replicas of religious codes. The secular state, or the godless state, allows the citizens to break the laws of God, but restricts them from disobeying the laws of the state. The result is that the people in general suffer more by breaking the laws of God than by obeying the imperfect laws made by man. Hallelujah. Don't start. Every man is imperfect by constitution under conditions of material existence, and there is not the least possibility that even the most materially advanced man can enact perfect legislation. On the other hand, there is no such imperfection in the laws of God. If leaders are educated in the laws of God, there is no necessity of a makeshift legislative council or of aimless men. There is necessity of change in the makeshift laws of man, but there is no change in God-made laws, because they are made perfect by the all-perfect personality of Godhead. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
You know, amen comes from om. The original word was om, and then gradually the derivative was delineated over time until it became amen. But originally it was omkara. All religious ceremonies were started with om. You know, a lot of people don't know that. So you can just say om. The codes of religion, scriptural injunctions, are made by liberated representatives of God in consideration of different conditions of living, and by carrying out the orders of the Lord, the conditioned living beings gradually become free from the clutches of material existence. The factual position of the living being is, however, that he is the eternal servitor of the Lord. In his liberated state, he renders service to the Lord in transcendental love, and thus enjoys a life of full freedom, even sometimes on an equal level with the Lord, or sometimes more than the Lord. But in the conditioned material world, every living being wants to be the Lord of other living beings. And thus, by the illusion of Maya, this mentality of lording it over becomes a cause of further extension of conditioned life. So in the material world, the living being is still more conditioned until he surrenders unto the Lord by reviving his original state of eternal servitorship. That is the last instruction of the Bhagavad Gita and all other recognized scriptures of the world. What was the last instruction of Bhagavad Gita?
Sarvadharman parityaja.
Savam, what?
Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam
Mamekam saranam vraja.
aham
Tvam savipapebhyo
mokshayami ma shucha.
Abandon all varieties of religion. Just surrender to me. I shall protect you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Om Ganathamirandasya Gananjana Salakya Chakshun Militamana Tasmasi Guruve Namaha. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Amazing purport, huh? I mean, it's like, you could just take this and just make this your life study. That's it, everything there in this one purport. You know, Prabhupada speaking from the highest level of knowledge, and he's explaining the eternal laws of God always exist. Now they may be a little bit lessened or more extensive in different yuga. So this is why the great sages, and Krishna says, Yada yada idonama sadhlani bhavati bhavita. Whenever there is a predominant rise of irreligious, declining religious principles, I descend myself in order to establish eternal religious principles. So Krishna may come sometimes and start a new little seemingly code in order for certain segments of society. But the eternal principles are always the same. And those are basically, you know, there in all religions. Prabhupada used to say if the Boy Scouts would follow their oath, they would make spiritual advancement. So, you know, the codes of religion are what? Shall not kill, thou shalt not steal, don't commit adultery, honor thy father and thy mother, never place another god before, you know, all of those commandments, they're eternal commandments actually. It's not coming with Moses and the tablet. They're already there, they're eternal. Moses may have repeated them, reiterated them. Actually, some say it was his sister who was actually sagacious, but that's a long story. But the point being is that this knowledge, these laws, they're irrevocable because they're coming from the person who's actually in authority. Why can the government arrest you and put you in jail if you go too fast on the highway while drinking? Intoxication. They can pull you over, take you to jail, lock you up. Very severe punishment. Why? Because they have a judge who will put you in jail, sign a piece of paper. They have a government, they have police force, they have everyone who will back them up. They have the authority to do that. Right? So they have some authority over your temporary condition. But they don't have authority over their next birth. They can't tell you, oh, you're 99, so you just did this horrible crime. We can kill you 99. No, you can only kill you one time. So the punishment's the same, right? But that's not how it works with the laws of God. This is the tricky part. Prabhupada points out, even a little thing can be a big deal. It can cause you a lot of problems. So you have to be more attentive. Why? Because your whole existence depends on following the laws of Krishna, of God, knowing those laws and following them. You can't plead ignorance. Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to eat a hamburger. God didn't tell me nothing. You know. No, you're still going to suffer so many births. For every hair on the cow's body, you're going to suffer. Oh, radical Hare Krishna. No, honest, compassionate, loving Hare Krishnas. We don't want you to take birth as a cow and go to a slaughterhouse and be shot between the eyes with a bullet. Just so you can eat some tongue-tantalizing blood, fried blood. That's the track, that's the law, that's reality. Say, call me politically incorrect. Call me radical, fanatical, whatever. It doesn't change the laws of the universe. Every action has a reaction. As you sow, so shall you reap. They're there throughout. Karma is there. There's a soul living in every body that's alive. That is a soul body. If I come to your church and I kill someone in your church, you would hang me in a moment with all good cause, and justly so. Right? Why? Because this is, not only did you kill someone you loved, but you came to my church, you came to my house, you came to my worship place, and you did this dastardly deed. Nowadays they're killing people in schools, little children. Dastardly, low crimes of the most evil. Used to, if you ran from the police, you ran into the church, you couldn't be arrested. You know that? Yeah.
Sanctuary.
Used to be all over. You could take shelter in the church. They would have to wait for you to come out. They could not arrest you in the church because they so much respected the house of God. Now they'll blow it up. But the point being is that at one time, the reverence was given for these laws of God because it was the church. So if one enters that rank, but if you come out, what if I see and I understand according to the laws of God, there's a soul, he's my brother, just like you are. He's living in that innocent body, just wanting to eat grass in the field, and you come and you kill him and you eat him. But you say it's okay because my law says it's okay. I say, I'm sorry, it's not okay. It's not okay. You will have to pay a reaction. Now who's the bad guy? The person that tells you it's okay? Or the person that tries to save you from the reaction of that? So what do? Prabhupada came, Prabhupada introduced everything. The biggest thing he introduced was a positive alternative. Because that's where you go wrong, right? That's where the Muslims and the fanaticals go wrong, because they're so harsh. We can't look at a woman, you dog, But then, well, what can you look at? You can't look at the beauty of a woman. They don't even believe in form, so they destroy all the paintings. They destroy any artwork. What can you look at? You will become a pervert. That's what they are. They live a perverted lifestyle. Yet they kill people for being respectful and thinking a woman is beautiful and the woman can wear her hair. Yeah, in Vedic culture you may have some purpose of chastity, all that. But for God's sake, where's the balance? The hypocrisy is there. You're killing someone for not covering your hair. Right? But then you're killing innocent women and children. You're stoning them to death. Why? Because you're mean. Your heart is cold. You've lost your love and compassion. Srila Prabhupada didn't come like that. So what do you see? You see both, the best of both worlds. You see the truth, the honesty of law of karma, and you see a positive alternative. What is the positive alternative? Mahaprasada. Who here ever has tasted prasadam and thought, I've never tasted anything like this before? Please say, Haribol. So it's not just me. Right? I'm telling you, prasadam saved this soul from so many births in a cow's body. Should I be excited and grateful for that? Yes. Should I act a little bit like above the normal euphoria for the fact that I was saved from millions of cows' births being slaughtered? I was born on a hog farm. Where was I going?
This little piggy went to market.
I was going to be in that pen. I was the one going to be in that pen. So when you say, Srila Prabhupada saved me, oh yeah, he kept you from being a drunkard. No, he kept me from taking millions and millions of births and being killed. Because he knew he's the only one who came and is telling the truth. But then how could he do it? I couldn't just give up. He sat me down at the Sunday feast and had Jogendra bring me a bowl of sweet rice and halava. Said, here, Bhakti Darrell, eat this. I said, well, I've been fasting a lot. Yeah, just try this. I ate it and I said, oh my God, can I have another one? I ate the whole bowl. I was thin as a rail. I was an Arnold Earhart. Big eyes, all buzzing out and fasting, skinny as a whale. Right? Walking around barefooted with my yogi mentalities. Just such a fool. And when I ate that halava and sweet rice, that was it. I swear to God. My body started tingling. My tongue was alive. And I thought, God, never had this taste before. What is going on here? And I thought, I don't know. I can't explain this, Every day I came back. I wanted it again. It's like that show they have, that story, book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the Chronicles of Narnia. And the little boy, Peter, there's a wardrobe is how it all starts out. And they're staying at their aunt's house in the country during the war. They put them out in Britain and in the country to get away from the bombs. And so they're playing and they run into a wardrobe and he ends up in this other world, Narnia. So he goes by himself. No one knows he goes the first time. And when he goes, this witch comes, the wicked witch comes riding up on her chariot, the snow witch, and she gives him a little food to eat called Turkish Delight. Said, eat this. And so he eats it and he became her slave. She says, from now on you do what I want, I'll give you more. And so he had to have that Turkish Delight. So he didn't go tell anybody. So he was a spy in the camp. So she controlled him by giving him this Turkish delight. So in the same way, we're controlled. Yes. Yes. They say, oh, you don't, all you eat is sugar and you're controlled. They've made up all these stories about the Hare Krishna. No, how are we controlled? Because we're controlled because we have food that is delicious, that's offered to God, that's healthy, and you don't have to kill animals. But it tastes so good because we offer it to Krishna. We offer it to God. So the science of spiritual knowledge, the laws of the universe, if you offer everything to God, it takes on the properties of God. So you're eating a spiritual foodstuff, you have a positive alternative. It's delicious. You fry it in ghee. The same taste you're looking for in blood is the blood of the cow, is the ghee. It's like we do essential oils. And so I'm very familiar with the different levels of refinement until you get to the essence of the plant. They call it the essential oil, right? So in ghee, you're having, when you take the blood of the cow flows through the mammary glands, right? And so as the cow, it's like a miracle. The cow, the blood comes through and the cow turns it into milk in her gland. No way to explain it by evolution, so don't even try. You don't even try. They'll try, but it's just totally ridiculous. It's obviously the arrangement of God to create a milk bag. I mean, that in itself should convince you of the nature of God. I mean, this big bag with 4 teats, and each one of them you can get enough food the Brahmins live on all the time. Like when Bilvamangal Thakur came to Vrindavan, he told Krishna came to help him and he said, I'm fasting. Krishna says, well, in our village, no one fasts. He said, some may take only milk, but no one fasts. So Krishna would bring him his milk every day. Until one day Bilvamangal Thakur realized, I know who you are. He was blind, so he couldn't see, So Krishna tricked him in bringing his milk. So this milk, it's a foodstuff, it's a miracle foodstuff. But not only just the milk itself, but as the milk flows through, it becomes milk, but on top of it is cream. So you take the milk, you set it in a bucket, by God's arrangement, Krishna's arrangement, nature's arrangement, the milk at the top comes thick, creamy, cream. Isn't it? Just sit it there. You don't have to do anything. Just sit it down, back away from it, and the cream comes to the top. Huh? You don't have to have a PhD to know this is pretty cool. You squeeze some teats of a cow, give it some grass, it comes in a bucket and it's authorized cream. You take the cream off, it comes up automatically. You don't need a special machine. And you skim it off, and then you put it in a little churn and you turn it. Of course, in our culture, we may have a motor. But in Vedic culture, they had a rope and they had a stick in between. And they would have, the cowherd girls would be on either side, and as they go, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan. And then they would go into ecstasy, and then they, butter. Hey, get away, monkeys. Huh? This is why, in Vedic culture, the cow is the most central focus. Why? This is Vedic life. Simple. Mother cow, so the cream comes. But that's not all. You make the butter, then what? You take the butter, you put it in a little heat, little fire. Everybody can make a fire. You don't need to, we haven't had to go to Walmart yet. We're doing everything here in nature. You take the butter, you put it on a low heat, means a little wood, and it just simmers, simmers, simmers. And then all the impurities, you can skim them off, or they go to the bottom. And you have liquid gold, ghee, clarified butter. This clarified butter is the essential oil of the blood of the cow. So what's better? Which method is better? The one given us by Srila Prabhupada, or the one given us by this mundane cultural that we've been born into that tells us, you gotta have your meat, boy. Otherwise you're going to get rickets. You're going to get scurvy. You won't have no protein. Right? Why? Because their tongue, they're thinking, oh my God, you're going to break away from our cultural conditioning. You're going to change us. The Hare Krishnas are trying to change us. They're trying to take away our religion. Our religion, meat, the good in our religion. God gave us meat. Hey, they'll go down fighting, right? You're not going to take away my blood. God gave me that blood, right? Meanwhile, they're 400 pounds, they have to make the seats bigger in the buses in Chicago. And people say, well, it's because it's colder weather, we got bigger coats. Mm-hmm. No, it's because you're getting fatter and fatter. The average American gets 20 times the protein they need a day. 20 times the amount of protein they need a day. What does a bull eat?
Grains, grass.
Yeah. His neck's as big around as this. He makes Mike Tyson look like a runt, right? Because he's eating grass. But how does he get so big? Where's he getting his protein from? See, their arguments are just very shallow, very superfluous, very ignorant arguments. They're very attached. So it's like trying to bring them away from it. They get angry with you. They want to kill you. But all Prabhupada was trying to do was come and tell you, take this ghee, you fry your food in this ghee. Huh? And then what happens? It tastes, you taste the taste you're looking for in the fried blood. It's the same, but better and pure and clean and no sinful reaction. No karma from it.
And it pleases Krishna.
Yes, and it's very, Krishna is very happy to accept it. Of course, that is the biggest part, the postgraduate level of understanding the laws of God. That's where Bhakti Yoga comes into the equation. Because true religious codes teach that everything, Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamivaha Vasishite. Everything, no, I get it mixed up with Isha Vasham Idam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagacham Jagat Tina tatina bunjita. Everything animate or inanimate is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things are set aside as his quota. One must not accept other things knowing well to whom they belong. So when we're offering our food stuff to God, all we're doing is saying, like, offering the ocean water, like the Ganga. You take the Ganga and you can offer Ganga water back to Mother Ganga, right? So all we're doing is offering what's already belonging to the Supreme Lord, but we're respecting. So even in early Christian tradition, everything, they always had blessing for the food. They had grace, didn't they? You couldn't eat until you get smacked off that table. You start grabbing your food before you offered grace. You get that knot on your head, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't get up to the table and start just grabbing food. You first say grace. Why? Because they understand. First you have to say, thank you, Lord, for giving us this food. God is good, God is great, thank Him for our food. Whatever simple prayer they would offer. So Vaishnavism, the science of real God consciousness, devotion, understanding the laws of the universe, we offer everything to God before we take it. It's okay. It's not going to hurt it. Is it? It makes it nicer. It's like a parrot. When a parrot pecks on the mango, the mango gets sweeter. The same way, by offering it to Krishna, we offer it to the spiritual master who offers it to Krishna, then the food stuff becomes much better, and then when you eat it, karma-free diet. We have books. Karma-free diet. Because you didn't have to kill the entity. Of course, you're killing the broccoli plant, maybe. You're digging the potato's root. But the point being is that in warfare, we're in the material world, there's going to be something you have to do. If you're in warfare and you kill a man, it's not a crime. Because it's war. You're sanctioned war, good religious war, whatever I'm just saying. It's an example. So the point being is that with food stuff, if you offer potatoes to Krishna, it fulfills their life cycle. They were just going to go and rot in the ground. So you take that when it's ripened fruit, ripened vegetable, you offer it to God. That soul and that plant, you helped him. You've helped him grow and advance. You fulfill, like when you take an herb and you offer it to God, or you use it in medicine, that purpose is fulfilled. That soul gets the benefit of helping that person. It's a very nice thing in herbal medicine. If you help a saintly person with an herb, that herb gets benefit for helping that saintly person. And this is all over the arrangement of the creation by the Creator. Is that you can take everything and use it in God's service, and then you don't have any reaction, but you benefit everyone. So this is all about, not about restriction, it's about having positive alternatives. So Prabhupada gave us prasadam, and then he gave us a way to fix our mind. All of us here have one problem that we deal with every day. We have a mind. You know? You're not the only one. I know you feel alone in there, but you're not alone. We're all suffering just like you are. Our mind goes off and forgets our real identity. My mind goes there, blah, 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 right? But the point being is, like, sometimes when we're chanting, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. You're brought back to reality. You're back. You're there again. You're grounded. You're focused. You're sane. Srila Prabhupada wrote one book, Who is Crazy? They were, in the early days, they would take the Hare Krishnas and put them in mental institutions. They said we were crazy. Said we were brainwashed. Prabhupada said, yes, I'm washing your brain. It's dirty. Your brain is full of cow dung. So, who is crazy? Those who try to let the senses and the mind control you. You become implicated in a world of karma. That world of karma means suffering. There's no way around it. So who really is your friend? Your friend is that person who gives you a positive alternative. One who cares about you but understands you're weak. Understands you can't do it on your own. You have to have help. That's what the saving grace of a spiritual Savior is. He understands you need help. And sooner or later you have to stand on your own 2 feet. You have to fly your own ship. You understand? The co-pilot can teach you all the controls, everything, landing gear, everything. Sooner or later he's going to say, you're on your own. Right? So the spiritual master can save you and bring you. Sooner or later you have to stand on your own 2 feet. But he gives you a method. You're not alone. He may not be there all the time to tell you every day, chant Hare Krishna. He may not be living in an ashram, but Srila Prabhupada understood. He had a methodology, he had a plan, a vision, how to save this planet. We're not grandiose. We're not delusional. We're just really, really lucky. We're really fortunate. We're born in an era where there's a true spiritual renaissance. We're not making it up. Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the controller of every atom, had appeared on the planet 500 years ago to inculcate a movement called the Sankirtan movement. All of this knowledge base is part of that movement, that body of knowledge, with one purpose: to save every soul that comes into contact with this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Why? Prabhupada taught, if you chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, again and again, hearing it, what happens is you start to hear the holy name, and the holy name is non-different than God. It's absolute. This is a scientific fact. They've shown how sound can affect so many ways. You can put water. They've shown this Japanese scientist did all sorts of things where they took water and they would say different sound vibrations in the water. The molecular structure would change. Amazing. Sound is very potent. And in ancient times, sound was noted as so much a powerful thing that some people explain that's how the pyramids were built, using a mantra to levitate. They would put it on the papyrus, put a mantra, and it would levitate the stones because of the sound. The whole sound chambers of the pyramids are all sound chambers. They use them for amazing things, for healing and doing so many things. But it was all so the sound could resonate in a certain way. They have chambers, and each one has this. This is a very complex sound science. So sound, the science of sound, has existed eternally. I mean, it's all about, like, you know as well as I do that they have so much things they're doing with sound on the subtle, scientific level. Krishna consciousness embraces the eternal art of mantra meditation. Mantra means mind reliever. So the sound vibration of Krishna's name is non-different than Krishna. So when you say Krishna, you're actually hearing with your ears, entering into the core of your heart, and you awaken to who you really are. Really are. I didn't hear this in school. Right. You went to the wrong school. There's no teachers teaching you the truth. They're teaching you that you evolved from a one-cell amoeba that came out of the ocean. There was a big bang and everything. That's what they're teaching you. It doesn't make sense. Negative to the 40th power in mathematical equation. It's just impossible to happen. And there's so many books now that explain, even the physicists don't accept it anymore. You go to the physicists, what do they accept? Intelligent design. They don't accept evolution. They have a little soft organism maybe. But you talk to them, they'll tell you. I've talked to them. They're big scientists and they say, no, we accept now intelligent design. Well, guess what? It's still not getting into the books. In the little classrooms, little people still hearing, Darwin taught us, and people are still buying into it. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't matter if it makes sense. Propaganda. We're conditioned souls. So what's happening is, there is an energy coming. Prabhupada said if they knew what we were doing, they would kill us. Why? Because this culture is dependent, it's incumbent upon propaganda. Prabhupada used to say, we make propaganda for God consciousness. We have no secret to hide. There's no skeletons in our closet. We're an open book. We're saying it clearly to you. We've come to take over this culture by spreading God consciousness, rising the awareness that the souls are affected by their actions, the laws of God, as taught in Srimad Bhagavatam. What are those laws? Simple. Right? Everything we have, we offer to God. And we use everything in His service. And by doing so, everyone becomes happy. It's not complicated. Simple. So we ask everyone to please take the opportunity to visit a Hare Krishna center. Don't we? We tell them, come to a Hare Krishna temple. When they come to the Hare Krishna temple, what do they receive? They see you. You are the ambassador for that soul's eternal nature. If you don't help him, he misses it. I was walking across a university campus in El Paso, Texas. Totally bewildered hippie boy walking around. And some Mexican boy jumped off the back of a red pickup truck, an old pickup, and ran at me, directly to me like this. And I see him coming. Oh, what is this? And he comes running up to me and he sticks a big Krishna book in my hand. This is a book. It's all about God. It's printed by George Harrison. I'm interested in God and I like George Harrison. So I bought that Krishna book. Now what if he hadn't have done that? What would have happened? We can say this, that, and I'm saying I don't know. But I know that we are the persons. We are in charge now. We are the people who are tasked. This is not a cultural, social movement. This is an evangelistic, spiritual movement that's come to actually change, transform this planet. And we are the ambassadors. We have the chance. I know we have our flaws, we have blah, blah, blah. Right? But the truth is, we can tell people. Why? Because first Prabhupada said you have to be convinced. So we have to convince ourselves. When we chant Hare Krishna seriously, I mean serious chanting, you start to get it. Don't you? You start to catch it. This is real. This is not some mind-altering, hypothetical, hopeful, this is real. This is the absolute truth. Imagine the import of the supreme absolute truth appearing and coming. And we can actually be part of spreading God consciousness all over the planet. It's a fact. It's what's happening. Now, Prabhupada always kept it in perspective. Because one time the reporter asked you to Prabhupada, what would happen if everybody took to this Krishna consciousness? And Prabhupada said, well, the reporter said, what would happen to the planet if everyone took to this Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada said, well, first, they're not going to all take to it. He said, but if they did, what's one planet? What's one? He's seeing billions and billions of universes. Huh? We're thinking, oh, Earth planet is there, everything, America, Mississippi, yeah, it's like we're all caught up in our little world. And then Prabhupada expands it out, your community, or your state, your nation, your planet. Prabhupada seeing from the eternal spiritual vision, we're just tiny little infinitesimal sparks. We have very, very little relevance in the universe. But yet, at the same time, we're very significant. Why? Because Krishna is in the heart of each living entity and Krishna loves us. Krishna cares about us more than we can ever imagine. So he comes as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sends Srila Prabhupada. But now we can't play. We can't be playing hanky-panky with it. Maybe in, maybe out. Huh? We may go through ups and downs, cycles, right, in our spiritual life. At some point, we got to reach a point where, hey, I'm all in. I'm going to spread Krishna consciousness. Somehow or another, whatever it takes. It's gradual. It's done with resolve. It's done with determination, with sanity, not irrationally. But we all have to be so firmly convinced that we become one focused unit, one purpose, to spread Lord Chaitanya's mercy. I'm saying it in a humble state, from a person who has struggled throughout my life to control my mind and senses. I'm saying it in a humble way. We are an eternal soul. So when do you start? It doesn't matter. Because it doesn't change when the body changes. If you catch on now, that's as good as catching on into your next birth when you're 10 years old or something. Right? It doesn't matter when one wakes up and realizes our eternal identity, that this is real. All of this knowledge is real. We have to become mad after it. We have to. So questions or comments?
Thank you. But there was another time someone asked what would happen if everybody took this, and Prabhupada said there would be no more hippies.
Everybody will be happy.
They would become happy.
Yes. Yes. I forgot that part.
Yeah, those are different times. But yours is better. But if apparently the Earth planet is very important in the whole universe, and if the Earth planet goes, so goes the universe.
The truth is, we are so fortunate we cannot imagine our good fortune. We just can't imagine it. We're stuck in the material body, and we have, still suffer as long as you have a material body, continue to suffer. But we also don't understand the astronomical results of our spiritual activities that we've been able, by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, to perform this lifetime. I compare it when I was in the Army. I, of course, spent all my money each month, and so when I got out of the Army, I had no money. And they gave me a big check, $1,200 or something. Said, we've been saving it out of your pay each month. I said, well, that was nice of you. I was totally broke, but they saved it up for me. I'd take it out of my pay each month, and they give it to you. But thank you. So I thought like that, it's the same way, we see how much we struggle, and we hear all these benefits, all these benedictions we get from chanting the holy name, from reading Srimad Bhagavatam. You read the chapter of the prayers Lord Shiva gave to the Prachetas, and if you chant it every day, you definitely go back home by God, you're successful in everything you do, and so many wonderful things, And then you read another chapter, and it says by doing so, one will definitely get liberation, one will be free from all sins. You hear all these things, you go around Tulsi, you're free from karma, and you say, why am I suffering? Right? Why do I still have a body that's suffering? Because we're going through a process. But it's okay to understand that Krishna doesn't have to follow some, religious rules, right? Krishna is setting it up in such a way, whatever it takes, he wants us to come back home back to Godhead. Whatever it takes. It's not that Krishna is saying, I got you now, like in prison, you're in prison, they'll keep you in there for 30 years. Yeah, every time you spit on the sidewalk, give him another 10 years. It's like, Krishna wants us out. Right? Krishna is kind. Right? Y'all do believe in Krishna, right?
Yes, sir. Amen.
I'm just saying, we do accept that Krishna is real.
Boom.
So, if Krishna is real, as he is, right? He's very kind, which he is, unlimitedly kind. So we're trying our best, right? Krishna's not going to kick us for trying your best. He's going to be holding a little surprise for you. He got a little special gift waiting on you. Huh? You know what it's going to be? You're going to be mad with love.
Right.
I'm serious. Your heart's going to be overflowing with ecstasy. You're going to be like, I was looking for a piece of broken glass and I found the most valuable jewel. That's what happens. Prabhupada said it like that. But you can't give it to you cheaply. Krishna can't just give it to us for nothing. Right? Because why? Well, he wants us to refine that devotion. He wants us to become more real. Really want it. I mean, like, some days I'm chanting, I'm thinking, I'm going to go all out today. I'm going to chant my rounds like I've never chanted my round before. You know, and I'm chanting, and chanting. I finished, and I thought, wow, that's nice. I really, really enjoyed that. I really got a taste. Why? Because Krishna wants to push you a little bit more. He wants you to become more enthusiastic. Because that's what goes on in the spiritual world. It's not humdrum. It's fully. There's a word, plumb. Otherwise, Garni will probably get on me because I'll probably misspell it. But P-L-O-M-B. Plumb means full enthusiasm. Without reserve. So it said when Lord Ram went to the forest, he went with fully plumb. No hang up, right? So that full enthusiasm, that volume, that eagerness, that's what we're doing now. That's what we're increasing. It's like one time when I was a young devotee, I was doing Sankirtan, and I was very enthusiastic one day to distribute Prabhupada's books. Just one day out of many, I wasn't enthusiastic. So I went out to distribute the books, and I stayed out all day and all night, because I'd heard the devotees in LA were staying out all day and all night. So when I came back, went to Mangalarti that morning after I'd been out, I did a bunch of Krishna books, and I went and I laid down, and then Srila Prabhupada appeared to me. Wow. It was so unbelievably sweet. I mean, I can't even describe it, I won't even try. But the point being is that I wondered, well, why, of all days, did it happen like that? And then it's just as clear as the nose on my face, right? That because I made the effort, he rewarded me. It's all about making the effort. We can't sit back and think, oh, I'm giving it all. You haven't given it all. None of us have given it all. Right? We're measuring it. We're doing it in a rational way. I'm not criticizing. I'm not saying that, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I'm being honest and saying we haven't really embraced fully the holy name. We haven't really sold out to the holy name. And when you do, you get a different result than when you kind of like hang on to it. You know, keep trying it. You know, sawing wood. It's a difference. It's the quality of the immersion of the soul in Krishna consciousness. That's the philosophical point. The more we qualitatively surrender fully. I mean, when we chant, no one's there but us. We're chanting. Krishna and Prabhupada, no. But I'm promising you, the quality of the rounds can increase the quality of the result. Why? Because Krishna wants you to get to a certain level where everything is about Krishna. Prabhupada said 24 hours a day. You think about Krishna. See the Prabhupada keep.
There you go. Yeah.
Jai Vaishnava.
Jai Vaishnava.